Welcome to Within You, a podcast for seers, seekers, a spiritual teacher, and it is my honor to be here and to guide you, to encourage you as you walk your spiritual journey, as you take steps towards the calling of your soul. This series is a bunch of episodes that are selections from my book, Lessons that are how to learn to love being human, the key to harmony within you. I want to encourage you to experience these episodes, the majority of episodes for 21 and 22, as a training program for your soul. During 2021 and 2022, I actually engaged in a sacred pause. I intentionally sort of stepped back from a lot of the public and give myself room to grow and evolve after what I felt like I hit like a bit of burnout because I was pushing through. What happened? Who am I now? How do I deal with this? So I'm grateful that I recognized my need, that I honored that transition, and I am thankful that I have this offering now. And it's what emerged from what I call a holy silence. And so this episode is what I call Journeying to Joy. And it is emphasizing a point in the book that I just feel like is pivotal. It's like the outline, learning to love being human. I just wanted to add some context to it. Journeying to joy requires that you move towards it rather than away from fear. Now you have to understand that you are designed not to thrive. You are designed to survive. So your brain spends most of its attention and energy on keeping you safe. Now understand that if your brain, your body, like your design is to be safe, then your yearning to grow is not going to be supported because you're going to start to feel hesitant and afraid because that is your design saying, no, we've never done that before. It might be risky. So one of the things that I recognized as sort of flipping the switch and making my life shift directions towards a better way is when I recognized that, when I saw that my attention, because of my design, negativity bias, was focused on what was going wrong and what I didn't want. It's just where our energy is drawn to the negative. And it takes intention for you to move towards what it is that actually brings you joy. And when I started to focus on what I did want rather than what I didn't want, then I started moving away from my fear and towards what I loved. And this really changed everything for me. It's a different way to travel through life. It's a completely different experience. So in the book, I mentioned 3 levels, and I'll go through these briefly. So the first level is just kind of asking yourself. You don't have to have the answers, and the answers will change. But just posing the question begins to draw energy towards you moving towards joy. And asking yourself, what do I want here? What do I want now? What do I want from this? I remember when I first asked myself those questions, I actually had to draw on a piece of paper. And it was so easy for me to say what I didn't want. It was like pages. And then I had to sit and really think about what I did want. And it was interesting to me what came up way back then. One of the things that I remember, like clear as a bell, is that I wanted more sunshine. The state of Texas has probably over 300 days of sunshine. It wasn't that I needed more sun, like physically. And so I encourage you to sort of look at the levels of what your answer is. What I understood myself to mean is that I needed to be in the sunshine. I needed to be outside more. I needed to feel like there's a difference when you are getting that, morning sunshine than when you are in a room, in a building, or behind a window and thinking that you're getting that filtered sunshine. It's different. Putting my feet, like my bare feet, on the earth, like walking in the grass. Like these are simple things that I didn't or wasn't honoring about myself, but there's something that I wanted so bad. And I could give them to myself. It was curious to me the things that showed up in my want list and how different they were from previous ones. And so be kind to yourself, be compassionate, and allow those answers of what you want to show up for you. Imagine your mind and these thoughts as like a flowing river. You won't really see through it until it settles. And so allow those questions to not have immediate answers and to just come up. And it may be that if you don't know what you want, or if you're not sure if it's what you really want, then wait till you have that feeling of joy and then mark it, like save it. Like, is it a smell? There's literally a physical, instinctual reaction to the smell. I remember my mom had a lotion from probably Mary Kay or some Queen Bee kind of thing. I don't know why that smell comforts me. It brings me nothing but good memories. And so allow the things that you want be anything that you want. And then the level 2 inquiry actually expands it a little bit. And what I mean in level 2 inquiry is to sort of imagine yourself, if you walk up to a buffet, you are going to choose from that buffet, right? Those are your options in front of you. So level 2 expands from what you see immediately in front of you. It expands from what you think that you have as a choice. So if the buffet doesn't have any, chicken, and you know that you want chicken, then allow yourself to have a choice that's not immediately in front of you. And that's what I mean by expanding from what you see. There's so much potential in that, and allowing something to emerge, something to rise into your awareness. And then level 3 is what I call generative action. So I had the opportunity to go to the intergalactical headquarters, I think they called it, for Zig Ziglar's in Dallas a couple of years back. During the course, there was a story that they talked about where persistence. It was a story of Zig Ziglar, the actual well, or no, the pump is in the headquarters, but they talk about pumping it and pumping it and pumping it, and you think it's dry and there's no water in the well. But Zig notes that you keep pumping beyond the point of where you think you're going to give up, because that's probably where the water will start flowing. And the reason that I included that in the book is because I wanted you to go beyond the limits of your experience and your thought. There is some literally mind-blowing research on mindfulness and generative thought by Ellen Langer that came out this year in 2023, 2024, where you are limited. Like, your body can be limited by your thoughts, but then your body can do more based on your thoughts. And so I ran a marathon once. It wasn't really called running. It might have been like a fast walk, but I finished the race. And I remember at about mile 17 telling myself, I cannot go on. And the more that I said that, the more that I felt literally my muscles getting heavier and them cramping. I can't even describe to you what happened. I don't know if it was one of those cheering squads, or I'm imagining right now like a stack of stuffed animals that had a sign, and it kind of made me laugh. And that laughter literally broke the spell that I had put myself under. And I started to tell myself a different story, and my body responded, and I kept going. And so generative action means being consistent and being aligned with what it is that you want. So just recognize, don't beat yourself up, and don't I can't do this, because that's likely what'll happen. So keep doing it. You can't see what's coming. You're not supposed to see what's coming, but you pump the well, and you pump the well, and you pump the well, and that water is going to come up eventually. You just don't know how many pumps it'll take. So give yourself time, and remember to gently shift your focus to what you want, and take in the good. Take in the good. That's literally like the next part of this journey to joy. You have to learn to take in the good. Taking in the good means that you're turning these ordinary daily moments into maybe million-dollar memories, but you have to work it as a muscle because it's going to change your brain for the good. It's called self-directed neuroplasticity. And if there is one thing, I don't know how many episodes you've listened to and when I've said, you got to do this thing, but really, there's so many. There's so many opportunities for us to really move the needle on this experience that we call life and journeying towards joy, bringing in the joy, taking in the good, literally changing your brain is like a deal maker. So if you're curious, you might want to Google the scientific term. It's to build up internal strength and resources and fill a hole in our hearts. So the steps are, for self-directed neuroplasticity, first, you look for good facts. Very simple, good facts. And you let them become experiences to help yourself see the whole picture. It doesn't have to be complicated. So for instance, for me, a very good fact right now is that I have a cup of tea in front of me. And if I were to let that good fact of having hot tea within my reach and allow it to become an experience, the warmth of gratitude when I took that little gulp of tea. And it's interesting because the tea bag reminds me of an experience that I just had because that's where I found that specific kind of tea, like recently, like a very beautiful experience, like at a day resort. Then that leads me to the memory of after we've had our massages and we're looking out the window as the sun is setting over Lake Travis and just felt like a vitamin for my soul. I just went on a tangent there, but that's an experience. That is a fact that you allow to become an experience, and it helps you to make a bigger picture, right? So let it fill your body. Let it mean something. Let yourself sink into it. Like extend that feeling as long as possible. If I were doing this without a microphone in front of my face, I would probably close my eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, and bring those images literally closer to my heart, and just remember them. And so that is taking in the good. That is installing like a fact into an experience and then letting it just become a moment that is like $1 million memory for you. It is, your own self-directed neuroplasticity. It is you changing your brain step by step. And so you could do that right now. Like bring to mind something you're grateful for, a really good fact, and sit in it, swim in it, help it to become a good experience. Now, if we weren't on audio, I would invite you to do this as a 15 or more seconds, but that amount of time in silence on a podcast is crazy. So you can push pause and allow yourself to do this. Look for good facts. Flip the switch on the negativity bias that we are built with, and then install them and let them become experiences. Now, one of the things that coming to mind is I've had clients before say that, for instance, they had a gratitude practice and they decided to stop the gratitude practice because they weren't feeling grateful. And I didn't say this to her at the time. I don't remember what I said to her, but what I'm thinking in the moment right now is that you sort of have to make yourself experience gratitude so that it is a felt experience. What's coming to mind right now is we love to go out in nature and overland. And sometimes when we're out in nature, there aren't like showers and I don't have a full bed and, I don't have a comfy couch and I'm not always like perfectly warm at a specific temperature like my tea was. And so being out a couple of days and then coming back to my bed and my blankets and the comfort of that, I literally feel the distinction of having lost something and then regained it. So maybe you need to trick yourself into gratitude. If you enjoy warm showers, like maybe take a cold shower and then take a warm shower and go, oh, so grateful for the heat. Even though the cold is actually, there's a lot of good things it can do for you too. But you have to have that felt sense. Like you have to experience it. You can't say it. And so when I say, like, bring something to mind that is a fact and feel grateful for it, help it become a good experience, figure out a way to make it be an experience. Not having a bed to having a bed, like, it's an experience that I literally feel the most grateful for. This is how you can turn an ordinary moment into an experience that'll change your brain for the good. Like, you can be a scientist making actual change in your physical brain by flipping the switch on the negativity bias and allowing yourself to see the joy, to establish a good fact, and then let it become a good experience. So take this journey. I've actually had learning experiences within university where I love consistency over time. Like, if there's anything that I preach on, that I emphasize, that is consistent and done daily. So experiment with this. Give yourself 12 days, 18 days, 21 days, 30 days, 40 days, whatever it is, and make it like a game for yourself and see where you were in the beginning, and then measure your experiences at the end. It's like a muscle. You have to flex it. You can train yourself to take in the good. That is how you journey towards your own joy, because you're establishing good facts and then making them experiences. In closing, I actually want to let you know that if you feel stuck and if you feel in between, like you're in between, if you're confused, if you actually don't even know how to do this and you feel impatient with the progress that you're making on your own, like you try this, the suggestion that I just made, you want help, I can help you. I would be honored to guide you, because I don't want you to feel like you're left in the dark. So if you're interested in working with me, call or text 760-576-5683, or feel free to browse the website, viviancarrasco.com. There's a mentoring section at the top menu, or the hamburger menu, depending whether you're on a computer or a phone, and figure out the way that you'd love to connect, and let us have a conversation, because you're not meant to do this alone, and there is support for you. If you aren't quite ready to have like a one-on-one experience, if you visit the website, viviancarrasco.com/start-here, there are 3 courses that you can take as a do-it-yourself experience, that you will receive emails that will guide you through an experience. That may be your daily meditation. It could be your daily practice, something for you to start. So don't feel like you're alone. Don't feel like you have to do it alone. And if you feel like you need some guidance, there's all sorts of ways for you to get it. Even if it's not from me, make sure that you have a community of support around you. The great work of our lives is learning to love being human. Thank you for being with me. And if you have any feedback for me, feel free to send me a note at vivian@viviancarrasco.com.